Oh, there we go. Change the view of this thing. See the speaker view. All right. But okay, welcome everybody. We're going to get started here now. Let me see if I can. Boy. Oh, I want to make sure I get this right. Okay. Okay, we're going to get started here. Let me put up the slides. As always in the chat, there's a copy of the slides. It's a pretty short presentation today, but some very important topics. Let me make it full screen here. Stand by. And I think some very current event kind of topics that you might have wondered about. I always try to think like a parent on these things and then think like a student also. I try to do that because, you know, the way things are in the media, you can't always know what's being said and done. And I'm going to see if I can help with that. Let me see. That's right. We got everything going right. All right. Okay. This is our 8th meeting. Cut down the amount of meetings. Remember our YouTube channel. I'm doing a lot of things there that I don't do in the meetings. So you'll definitely want to do that. Check that out at some point and see that I'm doing that. Okay. All right. Let's get started. Upcoming tours are shown on DC, Sonoma State, Boise State on 7th and 8th. It's now the 7th and the 8th, Odera, not Odera, but Caleb. It's the 7th and the 8th because I want to take advantage of a great open house on the 8th. You get to meet some very interesting people if you can come up with us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, sir.
Yeah, I'll send you all the information out. We already have 4 that are going. You'll make 5. And I'll figure out what SHAP is going later. Let's see, Sonoma State's the 14th. Decided not to cover the so-called budget problems they're having, which are good for students that are coming in, means they'll have more for you. Then Washington, D.C., GW, and it's going to be GW and Howard. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Lots of good stuff there. Make sure you subscribe. That'd be great. Today's topics, here we go. Now, I was adjusting these topics up to the very end, so I think I got it right. Will quote, ending DEI in the federal government hurt your student? Or if you're a student here now, will it hurt you? God, I got students here too. Is financial aid frozen by the federal government? That was a big one. I got 18 calls on it, 9 text messages, and some hits on social media, my people tell me. So I think, and I did a video on it. My video was out there on the channel, but today I'll summarize it in just one view graph. Admissions timelines, what's next? Part 2, properly reading a financial aid award, determining the cost. Careers versus majors, all new view graphs based on where we are today. How do I become a nurse? It's optional. I don't see anyone trying to become one, so I'll probably just send the link for it if you know anybody. Top careers with a BA degree. Yeah, I'm definitely going to hit that this year. 5 things that prevent finishing college in 4 years. All right, let's go. First of all, and I'll take my time on these slides. Well, I always get concerned when the media is trying to terrify my parents. I always like to put things in perspective and deal with it. And I said, this is a time where I need to. And the video got hundreds of looks, so I figure it's an important topic. First of all, what is diversity, equity, inclusion as a policy? Now, again, this is a no spin, no ideology coverage of this topic comes Rex. No kind of slant. I'm just trying to tell you what's going on. Okay, let's go over that. Hold on, when I hit that, the meeting controls came back. All right, okay. Quinn, I didn't make you host, did I?
No.
I did not. I better do it because every time I click a host, it's going to mess my screen up. Hold on.
Okay.
We make you co-host. That should do that. Okay. Then I don't have to click anybody in, right?
Okay,
All right.
got it.
What is diversity, equity, inclusion as a policy? Most believe it means sharp, able, talented, qualified, BIPOC. I'll adopt the terminology, which is Black, Indigenous, people of color, LGBTQ, disabled, and women should and will be considered for employment admission to college. That's what most people believe it means. And I think if anybody has trouble with that, something's wrong with them. If somebody doesn't believe that, there's something wrong with them. But that's not really the debate. Here's where the politics come in. And I think, by the way, there's extremes on both ends, as always. And I'll take a shot at both if I can do here, okay? Most who are conservative politically believe that it leads to quotas, no evidence of that totally, which have been declared unconstitutional in college and admissions, but not on campus. October 23rd, Harvard, UNC, you remember the ruling, 7-2 and 6-3. Accordingly, most who are conservatives believe that in federal hiring and use of federal funds, there should not be a DEI policy, but it should be merit-based. And that was an undispassionate description. Most who are liberal politically believe that removal of DEI will unfairly keep the above groups from getting jobs, and whites will be advantaged. They also believe that the SCOTUS, I say they because I'm not taking sides, believe either SCOTUS was racist in its ruling or certainly unfair to the above stated groups. And I stated the groups right above there. Well, here's why DEI politics don't matter to college-bound students. I want you to stress it to your student. It doesn't matter to them. I'll explain. It probably depends on the state you're going to. But like here in California, pretty much all of those initiatives are funded by the state. And I don't see the state of California reversing that. There's just no way. And in the other states, which are, well, I'll get to that in a minute. Students going to HBCUs do not have to worry about, they don't have diversity officers, okay? So there's no diversity DEI on Black campuses. They think probably by definition. California has strengthened their DEI offices and functions per recent legislation. I don't know if you've read about that. None is reorganizing it away. Nobody in California. And that then makes the private schools do that. And there's large departments that do nothing but DEI, and UC, CSU, the private schools, they all have DEI officers and spend millions of dollars on those. Many believe, they think they'll keep doing that, don't you know? Many believe that colleges will have to review the functions of their DEI programs, since some of the funds come from federal budget funds. However, many have received letters that caused them to build their DEI programs in the first place, but now are reviewing it since the election. And I'm seeing that in red states, really. I mean, I noticed at Boise, they stepped out in front and a bunch of schools went behind them. And some in purple state, like Arizona State and Arizona did the same thing. They pretty much took their DEI programs and folded them into where they should have been in the first place, the multicultural student retention areas, which prepare students culturally to make the transition to college and have meaningful programs like, Black student unions, multicultural organizations. So I don't see it affecting students at all. Even in the red states, I noticed one of them reached out to me last week. I got to get back to them. And again, in Black schools, this is not going to be a major issue, as you probably know, because it's just not typically a program in those schools. All right. So let's see here. DEI offices are being folded into, like I said, in the multicultural affairs and ethnic studies, as was before 2020 at the campuses. And I noticed they're not taken away from budget, and they're just moving those people over and classifying them under a different office. Let me see who has some sound coming out here. Let's look. Who would that be? Let's see. I'm looking. Oh, there we go. Okay, I think we got it there. Okay, good. Okay. All righty. Again, under this topic, multicultural programs are for retention and cultural transition for all students. That's our position. In fact, we've did a video on that, and a couple of schools got a hold of us when they saw the video. It was very interesting conversations, and assured me that they're going to have great programs for students culturally matched. And it's really all about the culture of going from inner city and being around, people who are your culture and race, and then being around others. There's those issues of retention, wanting to come back to the school. And that's the way we always did it with multicultural programs. DEI policy offices in the college, however, these get some funding from the feds, very small. I think I detected about 5% of their funding nationwide and 2% in the UCs. Racial equity curriculum design is one thing they do. These are the things they do, usually for BIPOC, ethnic, and gender studies. So you'll see classes that are on gender studies and ethnic studies and these things. You'll see those, and those are usually coming out of the DEI office, typically. Hiring of teachers and staff, that's clearly a functioning area of DEI. Observations of calendars and times, yep, they usually run that on campuses. BIPOC, LGBTQ, disabled, and women, they have certain weeks that they have and months to fill in the blank. Those are typically managed out of the diversity office. Again, I'm proving that it will not, ending DEI at the federal level and federal hiring will not affect college students very much at all. Community civil rights lawsuits, a lot of times DEI organizations will do lawsuits in individual cities against businesses where they feel are being discriminatory. And they'll also sue the schools they're in many times. I've seen that. But typically they're put in place by the state governments in some states. Okay. And there'll be the college and surrounding areas that file lawsuits a lot of times. All right. And if there are not any questions on that, we'll go to, did the feds actually freeze financial aid? In one word, no. The federal government temporarily froze payments to non-government organizations, not individuals. In fact, they gave a list, but unfortunately, the wording of it, the original freeze said grants and loans. If I'm a parent, I hear grants and loans, I realize that it's college, right? Well, that's a good example of very poor messaging that we see from government many times. It's just extremely poor messaging. It was the NGOs that they wanted to freeze payments for. In fact, I just saw on the news they're going to just suspend them through Thursday so they figure out what they do, because there's $220 billion that goes to NGOs. Financial aid comes to you through the school. It's nothing to do with the federal government. The government funds it in your name through the school. It's your student's name. That's regarded as an individual grant or funding or loan or whatever it is to the student from the federal government, like a Pell Grant or an SEOG. Of course, you still have state grants. They're not affected at all. If colleges are receiving federal research grants this month, that may be temporarily frozen, a research grant. The hold was going to be 90 days, but now I see that the most will be 1 to 3 weeks. And then I saw today, I just looked at it on Ground News, actually 4 days, most will get back to their federal funding or get a letter saying the qualifications for the funding have changed, which happens every administration, they change everything. However, it does not apply to college students at all. So financial aid will not be frozen or taken away. I saw it all over social media and TikTok. It's just not true. And someone can send me I asked someone yesterday to send me a copy of the article that said that it was, and that they never sent it to me. So I'm going to assume that it's just the way the media handled it and the way it was messaged. All right, any questions on that? I'll go on to admissions and enrollment timeline. What's next? Okay, no questions. All applications should be done at this point. If you're still working on applications, and there are some schools actually that will take applications through the 15th of February, but I really would like to see it be done on that. If there's anyone I can help, let me know. Regular checking of email and portals, that's huge. Now, it's a big job if there are a lot of schools. So students that are here, might want to get, one of your parents to help you, or I don't know how you're going to manage all the emails in schools and financial aid letters from the school. And it's really a big job. And every year, some things are missed. I just had a person today that missed applying for a scholarship at a CSU. And, it's going to cost them, because they were easily going to get that scholarship. So you got to really watch those portals and watch what the schools are communicating with you about. It's super important, super important. And parents, if the students are busy with activities from school or whatever, it's maybe set aside some time to go over things you find with them. And there's a lot of email, especially CSU. How all schools communicate a lot with their students. FOPSs and CF, the only ones that don't are UCs, not until they admit you. FOPSs and CSS, well, while I'm on that subject, most of the CSUs will get their final letters out this week. There's a couple that will lag. Long Beach and San Diego will lag. They have a record number of applications this year, even though the CSU enrollment is way down. So schools will admit, like I noticed Fullerton is not really acting as selective as they used to be. And there are a lot of you that will be admitted to all, not all, most, just about all your schools for that reason. I should have probably included a view graph. You see no such thing. I think they have just as many as they always get and will be challenged to determine who will get into UC. Because remember, they don't have SAT scores to fall back on. FOPSs and CS profiles should be completed. Start thinking, this is the one I like to spend some time on. You've been started to get admitted to schools, right? And I'm gonna find out what people have found out in a minute. You probably started to get admitted to schools. And on that note, I think I'm going to what am I going to do? I'm going to stop the share right there. I'm gonna stop it right there. And change the view back to my gallery. So how are we doing with admissions to schools? If you can help me out, help an old man out a little bit. I'll just ask a couple of you. O'Dare, have you heard from any schools as far as admission?
I've heard from CSUN.
They admitted you.
Yeah.
Okay. And any others?
Bakersfield. Yeah, they admitted me.
Yeah. Did Northridge yet?
Yeah, CSUN, yeah, Northridge, yeah, they admitted me.
Sure. All right. What about good old how about Caleb?
Just the other day, I heard back from the University of Utah,
Right.
and they accepted me. And I heard back from CU Boulder, and they also
Oh,
accepted me.
really? Let's have a
Yes.
offline about that. But let me find out. Hey, Trina, you know a little bit about Boulder.
Yeah, my second son goes there. He absolutely loves it. I can't help you with the financial aid right now because I can't really remember what we got.
I remember. He got a merit.
You can help us.
He got a merit award. He got a merit award there. All right.
Yeah, he loves the school. Yeah. It's a fit for him. My older son, LMU is completely a fit for him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
I would say kind of visit.
Yeah, okay.
I would kind of say visit because sometimes what you see on the outside, you may not find your place on the inside. And then sometimes the school you think may be the best fit for you, when you get there, it's a lot different.
Okay.
So that's prime school for now, but he may be leaving, huh?
Huh?
I don't know if you followed that. That's prime time school, but he may be leaving, huh? Prime, what's his name?
Deion Sanders.
Deion, yeah. That's Deion school.
Sorry, it's breaking a little bit.
Oh, okay. That's Deion Sanders.
Oh, yeah. Football's great. So there's a lot of diversity now.
He might be leaving, though. That's why I'm a little distressed. He's being considered for a coach in the pros.
Well, Dallas got their coach, so he's not going to Dallas.
Wait a minute. There's other teams, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think he's going to leave. He just signed a few kids. I think it's kind of like.
All right.
He said he's not going to leave, but that doesn't mean anything.
Well, you just remember Jackson State. That's what's bothering you. Jackson State, he ran out of there. All right. I was proud that they did well this year. All right, there I hit on. Let's see what. Okay, there's.
Well, Aiden did get into San Diego State.
That's what I wanted to ask. You were right. I was right coming to you. So SDSU gave their first round of admissions. People who are waiting, just there's a second round. So he submitted like last week, right?
He found out in December, actually.
Oh, okay. That was first round.
Yeah.
So the second round should be like soon and very soon.
Yeah.
Any other? Well, he got San Diego State. That's a key pickup.
He got into LMU.
Yeah.
And then he just got into Michigan.
He don't want to go to school with his brother, do he?
No.
Well, I don't know your boys. This is the third one I had, or am I miscounting?
This is the third.
Yeah, that's what Quinn was telling me.
Yeah. So the third's easy. The fourth is going to be the hard one.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. We look at it. I delayed my retirement for him.
Thank you so much. I feel blessed.
Rex, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to ask, is the LMU La Jolla Marymount U or another LMU?
Huh?
La Jolla Marymount.
What's the LMU? Which one is that?
Los Angeles, LMU.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, because my granddaughter applied to La Jolla Marymount University, LMU.
Yeah, there's several Loyolas. I think it's like 3 Loyolas.
Yeah, there's one in Maryland and one in
Chicago. Is there one in Chicago? No, New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah, you're right. All right, let's continue here. Let's see here. Yeah, there I go. I found myself here. All right, let's continue. Oops. I got out of my controls. All right, there we go. All right, continuing on here. I just thought I would, I didn't do all the bullets there. All applications should be done at this point. Regular checking of emails, CS profile completed. If you have CS profiles out there, you got to get them done. They're really cracking down. But in schools that you don't file the profile, they're just not going to give you aid if it doesn't make the date.
Yeah, speaking on the CSS profile, my granddaughter applied to USC and Santa Clara, which require both the CSS profile. Yeah. And I had her send a follow-up letter, just basically asking both of those colleges that they receive it. And within a day, both replied and said, yes, we have received your CSS profile, blah, blah, blah. So it's a good thing. Just a recommendation. She's been like sending follow-up letters regarding the FAFSA and the CSS profile. And every school that she followed up on replied that either A, they're still, they have received it, is in review, or in the case of San Jose State, which she got admitted to, they said they're not going to be looking at the financial packages until mid-February.
They always say that. Okay, I'm not going to get upset today. All right, okay, let's continue.
Excuse me, I have a question about the CSS profile.
Go right ahead, sir.
Okay, so I've completed the FAFSA, but I have not completed the CSS profile.
And from what I know about your list, from what I know, as you told me,
yes,
you don't have any schools that require it. But let me just double check. Did you apply to USC?
No, I did not.
Okay, so you heard him say Santa Clara, right?
Yes.
Okay, and those are usually the biggies. Go ahead.
The HBCUs, do they use CSS?
None of them.
Okay.
Never will, I think.
Okay. Thank you.
And so probably you don't have any, Caleb, on your list. Okay.
Okay.
Certainly,
thank you.
Certainly the FAFSA. That's why I asked that question the other night when I texted you.
Okay.
Because I was seeing if you need any help on that. All right, now here's the key one. Start thinking about your college visits. How will you determine where you will visit? That's not a trivial question because you can't visit them all. And I don't think your high school will let you even if you have the money. So that's really an interesting question. How will you determine where to visit? And it's probably the first time you realize, oh, there are a lot of schools on this list, and you'll hope that the financial aid awards are different. And that strategy, you might say, well, let me wait till I see the awards. But then what happens, and you find out something very interesting, 80% of the time, pretty much they're the same. I'm going to be fair about this. Among private schools, they're the same. You got to be fair, okay? Of course, you'll have differences in total cost with state schools, public universities, of course. But how will you determine where to visit? It's not a rhetorical question. It's a very good question. You should not attend a school unless you visit first. I mean, you might visit schools you don't attend, but I've seen it about, quite a few dozen times where students attend a school they didn't visit parents, and it seems to never work out. Because what happens is if the students run into trouble at the school they didn't visit, they'll kind of say that's the reason. I didn't know they so-and-so. I didn't know they such. I didn't know the people were so-and-so. But when they go and say they like it, hallelujah, they buy into the process more because they're adults and humans like we are. They're younger for sure. So this question of how you determine where to visit, I can't really answer it, but I think it's a key question. And by the way, you may decide, I'm gonna go with that again, that you'll wait to see the awards, and that's fine, but you'll have a compression in time, right? You'll have less time to get more schools in because the decision's by May 1st. I have in my life been literally visiting a school with students the day before, 2 days before May. They actually did their acceptances while they were on the campus. But you don't want to let it go that far. So I say, well, I've ranked them first choice, second choice, third choice. Okay, when you get to the third and it's out of all three out of state, that's probably the only three you're going to visit, probably. So it's not a trivial question.
I just want to chime in. That's very sage advice, and it's very important. I would recommend that too. We're at the point now where she's gotten 4 financial aid offer letters, and they're in the Bay Area, St. Mary's College in California, Menlo Park, Menlo College, and those 2 up here. And then she's got one in Arizona State. And we're at the point now where, since we know what the financial offer is, to go ahead and visit these colleges. So
how many more are out there who haven't given you the award yet? The smart ones,
a whole bunch of them.
The smart ones gave it to you first.
Right, exactly. The private ones that came first. The states and the UCs, we just have to wait for those. But the ones that sent her, admitted her, and have followed up with the financial aid offer letter, we're now visiting those colleges. And one is allowing her to stay on the campus all day and shadow a student as an incentive for her to consider that college.
What will you do when the others start coming in?
Well, if they're out of
and their awards are better or good.
Well, if their awards are better and they're in California, we're probably gonna lean there. And if they're in Los Angeles or the Bay Area, we're gonna lean there, as opposed to Arizona State, University of Arizona State have both sent letters, and the University of Portland and Portland State have sent letters. But those are out of state. So, but her parents and her, California's first. But when those letters come in, Deacon Wilson, we're just going to have her visit those colleges.
So Portland came in and said she pays zero for anything. What would you do?
University of Portland.
I'm just making that up, but
well, there's a net difference of what they offered of their scholarship.
Well, I know. I'm just yeah.
Oh, okay.
I picked the wrong school, but let me see.
Yeah, but it's interesting, and I'll give back the mic. But I do want to share this with the audience.
No, go ahead. That's the point of this question here.
Well, the University of UC Irvine and UC LA are both $42,000, including room and board. Compared
but what's the direct cost? Just room and board and tuition.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's lower, right? It's lower than that, right?
Well, I just looked at it. It's $42,000.
Well, okay. Let me send that to me.
I'll send it to you.
That's new for me that it's $40,000. Go ahead.
We did a comparison of San Jose State, and it was $34,000.
34. Okay.
34. This is San Jose State. $34,000 tuition, fees, and room and board. Okay, compared
Nothing
to,
else now. Nothing else.
well, they have some other little fees in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Don't include that. Yeah.
The big ones, the big numbers. Okay, for living there, sleeping there, room, tuition, it was $34,000. I'm just rounding it off.
Uh-huh.
For UCLA, it was $44,000, and for UC Irvine, it's $42,000.
I
So we
appreciate you
told her,
sending me those just so I can get a look at the California ones.
okay,
They've never been
I
that
will.
high.
I'll send it
Never
to
been
you.
that
That
high
includes
before.
Deacon Wilson. That includes room and board.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Room
okay,
and board,
all right.
room
So
and
I'll send
board
it
and
to you. But
fees.
I'm trying to, the point I'm trying, let me drive to my point. Okay, we're still waiting for admissions and the financial letters from those colleges. Okay, those two UCs and San Jose. She got admitted to San Jose, but we still have to wait for the offer letter. But here's my point: it's only $10,000 difference between San Jose State and UCLA or UC Irvine. So if she gets a decent financial offer to either one of the Southern California state, that's where she's headed because they're better schools, in based on our metrics. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. For $10,000 difference, hell yeah, she would go to UCLA. Okay. Compared to if she had to choose between the two, even though San Jose State has been ranked number like 20 of by U.S. World Report, number 20 in the country. So we're okay with San Jose State if she chooses there. But the $10,000 difference is so small difference that we would be okay if she chose to go to UC Irvine or UCLA.
What about USC?
Oh, that's a no-brainer. USC, Marshall Business School, that would be perfect if she got into there as well.
Well, I'm thinking she will. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, we just have to sit tight and wait for them to come through. Yeah, but USC would be now. They're as you know, they're even higher. The private colleges are much higher.
It won't matter to her because she's under that 70,000 window.
That's right. You're right. I forget that. Yeah, that she's under that threshold, so she could get a full ride. So we just have to keep our fingers crossed.
But I'll buy you dinner if it's not the best offer.
Well,
I think I already said I'll do that. I don't know.
But back to the main point, I strongly suggest visiting these colleges as soon as you can, if you haven't. Because once they commit, that's it.
Yep. All right, good stuff there, Rex. I need. But I spent a little time on that, parents, because this is not a trivial bullet. The visit, and maybe you wait till we'll see what they cost, and then maybe you have some other way. If you heard Rex, and some of you have told me this, there's other factors. I mean, I think Sister Trina always says that to me. I mean, I don't remember you haven't told me that there's other factors as well, right? I think so. Here's just a reminder of the payment table for parent loans, just to give you an idea. For those of you who have higher income and are going to have to pay, I always include this chart so you can see what's going on and what the monthly payments on your parent loan will look like. Going through there, of course, if you at 25,000, 309 a month, maybe that's okay. But then you're down here for 4 years, 150, it's 1,900 a month on your loan as a parent. So just keep that all in mind when you pick the schools. You're probably going to be taking out a parent loan. And I think that 8.45 is, I didn't see it this year's number from Congress yet. I think it'll come out in about 2 months. It'll probably be a little lower than that, believe it or not, because the Fed dropped the interest rates. Okay, what my student owe for college, I repeated a few view graphs, but here's the summary. The direct cost, you heard me and Rex talking about tuition and room and board, because that's the direct cost for the school right there. There it is. And then you have minus the relevant financial aid. So in that relevant financial aid, you should not include work study and parent loans on the first time you determine it. That way you're comparing equals and apples and apples when you compare the institutions, okay? And then you'll know just from doing this what the students will owe for college. Now, I think I've included a couple of typical financial aid awards, ABC University. And this is the way they'll look typically. This is exactly the way UC looks. fall, spring total. The most important column is totals. And it looks like this person is 87,100 in financial aid, but when you look a little closer, you find out, I don't know why my phone's going crazy, but it is. Oh yeah, Rex, thank you, Rex. I like it. This person got merit scholarships, university grants, has a small parent loan, $7,600, but I would take that out on the first shot through. But let's look at the total cost. So that's the financial aid up here. This is the money up top, right? Down the bottom, and a lot of times schools do not include this bottom section, so you'll have to look it up. They just tell you the financial aid, they don't tell you much else, or tell you in code so you don't know, okay? So this is the perfect storm, I say at the top. High financial need, very high grades, high SAT. It's kind of USC-ish for students that are getting Pell Grants, right? So you go down here and you find out the tuition and mandatory fee, 67 plus 19 plus 8. So it's about 86, 87.1. If you don't take the parent loan, it's $80,000. If you take it, you pay off everything. This is when people say they have a free ride, but really you have the parent loan and you do have the direct student loans here and here, which for a school that's really worth it, it's probably okay. Okay, if you feel it's worth it, okay? So that's kind of how you do this, but it all goes back to this chart before. That's the important one, that chart before. You can quickly look at a financial aid award if you can find out what the direct cost of the school is and figure out how much you're going to have to pay. Because they don't make it easy for you to know that. And of course, you need to set up a meeting with me and go over that. I can send you a spreadsheet. We can go through it. Okay, careers versus majors. I want to do a few things on this year. This is important. Here's the way many view their career in relation to their major. I should say many students. I think some parents too, I have to be honest with you. Major in blank, career exactly like or based on the major. That's the dream world. That's what you want. Most people will say, hey, that's what I want. Well, we'll look at kind of how things have gone over my 26 years of doing this. Also, when I talk to students at times, I hear a major upon which careers cannot be easily built. So be careful about that. I've talked about that here. In reality, usually students do not exactly work on their first job. Do not exactly work on their first job. On a job that's exactly related to that which they majored. I got to get that first exactly out when I post this. Students do not work on their first job exactly related to that in which they majored. It's never exactly what it is. And a lot of you, I won't go around the room, have certain majors, and you may or may not be working exactly in that major. The only one like that is engineering. I mean, I did engineering for 16 years. And sure, you could have to major in engineering. Although that's not true either. There were people on my engineering team that were math majors, physics majors, statisticians. So I shouldn't really say that either. They were engineers. What they actually go to work in varies with experience while in college, not necessarily an internship, but it could be. Often the internships kind of form the career path as much or more than the degree. And take a look at this chart here that I came up with. I think you'll get the point. So there's a 12th grade career choice. If you ask a student, hey, what do you want to do for a career? Let's find out. Let's go around the room here. I got a couple in here anyway. Hey, Caleb, what are you thinking about for a career?
I'm thinking about becoming a deputy sheriff for the LA Sheriff's Department, and then retiring and potentially working in the government sector, becoming a professor at a university.
All right, cool. What major are you thinking about?
Public administration.
Ah, that's pretty good. Okay. And Odara, after you're All-American and whatever happens, what are you going to do? What career are you thinking about?
Um,
What have you thought about?
I've thought about I was thinking about becoming a coder, but now with AI,
Oh yeah, you told me. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, you can do both, bro. Learn some AI.
Yeah.
Come on now. If you learn coding, you're set because then you'll be able to tell the machine what to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm. Hey, what's Aiden want to do, Sister Trina? What does Aiden say? What would he say here? She's still here. She dropped. She might have dropped. I can't see. Anyway, let's take a look at this. Okay, we have, oh, wait a minute. Sister Lori's here. Hey, Sister Lori. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, yeah, that was a delay. Y'all scared me. All right. So you have this career choice that high school students make, and then you have college life, right? I just saw this in my brain a couple nights ago. You have an initial career choice coming out of college for sure, but let's take a look. It's going to always be dynamic. Your decision of your for your career, it should be. It should always be a dynamic kind of decision, right? Let's see some of the factors that go into that decision. Well, there's the job market needs what it needs. That certainly is a factor in how your degree will be put to work. There's the professors. You'll have some professors that kind of might modify or get you thinking differently about your career, which is a good thing. They'll begin to exert their influence and tell you what kind of education you need, etc. Family and parent expectations is a big one. But you got to be careful that that doesn't kind of obscure things a little too much for you. You should take every person helping you as giving their opinion because you got to be the master of your destiny. I think school clubs and activities, I've seen that help students find out what they want to do in life. I've seen that. I should have said, things you might do on the campus, like if you're running events, you might want to come out and be an event planner. Who knows? Recent job experience is going to affect your initial career choice. Then they're going to be career mentors who will come along and tell you their take on it. Then certain classes you might take might have an effect on your career choice. Then you're going to have career growth based on job performance. At that point, how you do in your jobs will determine where you go and whether you need additional education. The point is, people just say, oh, well, you're going to be changing your major. But this chart here is a little more of why it occurs, the dynamics behind it. It's not a bad thing to be constantly and continuously considering your career choice. Like I heard Odera just now say, I heard about AI, I'm not sure. And that means that there's factors related to what he's going to do. And there's factors going on. Is it going to be computer science? What kind of school I will take? Do they have AI at the school? A lot of schools have programs in it already. They've had them for years, for a couple of years, and actually 3 and 4 and 5 years. So that's a good example there, what Odera just said. Okay? So this is the model I think you should be thinking and how we parents and we leaders should be thinking about our youth going through college and going through college life. Okay? But have a career plan for the college that is chosen. Except for engineering, please do not be rigid about your major. I always do this view graph like months ago and then now. It's usually not an important consideration in picking a college. Don't be rigid about your major. Think career path. Picking a major is a strategic, deliberate career and life decision, not in any way an academic only decision. Don't say, well, I'm going to major in this just because I want to learn about it. You haven't really got time or money to do that. There should be a deliberate positioning with the degree. One clue that you're not making a career decision is when you're thinking about a city type of school and schools so much that you'll change your major depending on which school you go to. And that's okay, but just be aware that you're more dynamic, more It's more dynamic than you think. You're more in flux than you think you are, more in a changeable position than you think you are. Here's some BA degrees that we see lately that work the best. Communications and all of its perturbations. I mean, most schools have, I guess I would include media in that too. Most schools have changed the name of their journalism schools to communications or media, right? That's all part of the same. If there's a school of media on your campus, the communication majors will be there. So that brings in all your tech and everything. Psychology, particularly the BA in psychology, sociology, business administration, and marketing. You might say, well, is there a BA in psychology? Yes, there is. And a lot of times students will take that degree. They'll work strategic positions in organizations coming out of college even. They'll work with the strategic directors in helping them. Nearly all colleges have these degrees and they do them well on those ones above. There's some alternate skills and experience you get when you're getting those degrees, but it's great for nonprofit office work, certifications in computer, media, and tech. Sometimes students go on to get computer and tech certifications to go with those degrees. I've seen that in my kids come out of my program. Here's some of the career skills that will be acquired in the classroom. Course written in communication, teamwork, working in a group, oral communication, and of course, web development, social media marketing. These are going to be a huge part of all six of those BA degree areas up top. There's a lot of relationship between those, and they take each other's classes. Notice I have business administration. I didn't say, and marketing. I didn't say finance or, business finance. That's a whole different, or accounting. Those are math related. They're very different. You're not working with people as much, or it's not teaching you to work with people as much. I should be careful. You can still work with people. Okay. And I like this map here. I updated it. Here's a map of where some of our students have gone. A major to career job map. I just updated it. BA in sociology. And now social work is different. Because if you get a social work sociology degree, you're going to do social work. So there's not much to say about that here. But here I have drug counseling, marriage and family counseling, also the BA in psychology, right? City and county recreation, college admissions staff. That's what my students are doing coming out of college with those degrees. This is fresh information from the last 2 or 3 years of graduates. Also with that BA in psychology and business marketing, and also communications, nonprofit office administration, social media director, public relations, assistant communications director, assistant marketing director, human resources and strategic planning. The BA.
Dr. Wilson?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad you're showing us this chart. That psychology degree leads to a lot of other things as well. If a person wants to go into law, psychology degree is always a good one. And I've been calling around to people I know who are in finance and was asking for suggestions for my granddaughter's minor. And they said psychology would be a great minor because you get into the business world and, and they're looking at your application when you're trying to get a job. They see that you're business administration, they finance or economics, but you also have a psychology major or double major. That really looks good because today's environment, you really need to show employers that you understand how to communicate with people. So I'm glad you're showing the psychology. I think that's a good one to consider.
I think it's a really functional, man. Hey, some of these, Rex, I look for some of these working with me. I like to look at sociology, communication, and psychology. And I think they work well with what I'm doing.
Definitely.
It's nonprofit, but whatever. All right. There's a BA in chemistry and biology. Very interesting. Teacher, researcher, health science, pro pharmacist. What I don't have there is it is there, teacher, researcher, health science professional, pharmacist, nursing, medical school. So you can still go to medical school. You can get a BA or BS to nursing, BA or BS to pharmacy. All those kinds of things have happened. The BA is very more flexible than people think it is. I mean, they'll have a semester or two of bridge work to do to get into something, but that could be a doorway. We're talking about the initial job they would have, right? But these are some of the initial jobs they would have. Then finally, the top STEM careers, you know what they are. I just only had to change one this year. Isn't that interesting? Physics, applied physics, pre-med, chemistry, chemical engineering. Again, I have students that are doing these. Engineering, software, mechanical, civil. So you say engineering, there's categories, right? Computer sciences, we were just talking about computer sciences. I didn't put up here software programming, but I sure should have, Ladera, right? Business, finance, accounting, pre-med. This is, notice finance and accounting is under STEM. Pre-med, psychiatry, athletic training, physical therapy. These are science degrees. Psychological counseling. You could have a BS in psychology. Nursing, other health sciences, promotion policy, physician assistant. Yeah, the PA. That's a hot degree right now, physician assistant. I have 4 students that are getting ready to start physician assistance programs. Radiology, respiratory therapy, etc. Again, a reminder about our upcoming trips and tours. If you're seeing this video and you want to go on these, get a hold of me. I'm going to email it out too, so you'll see it to everyone. Don't forget to check out our channel. We'd be so appreciative, and you'll get so much information about what's going on in the educational world. We're starting a new channel very shortly for our students to keep them informed at their request. They're requesting and asking questions from me and stuff. I'll probably do segments where I just do their questions. But that's going to be a separate channel that we're going to start. Probably terrified Quinn just now. Hope you're not too scared, Quinn. All right, anybody have any questions or want to hang on after, want to talk to me later? Let me know now. Appreciate you coming out. Turn off the video right now.